Introduction. Designing a self-sufficient camp or cabin by a remote lake requires tailoring to local climate. A snowy alpine site, a soggy northern forest lake, and a dusty desert reservoir each demand fundamentally different power and water systems. In these case studies, we lay out holistic off-grid plans for each scenario, specifying generation capacity, storage, water treatment, and daily usage with real numbers. We also highlight likely failure points, panels iced over, mosquito-borne contamination, dust buildup, etc., and backup strategies. The goal is to show how environment drives system design and to provide a reusable template for other remote sites. Case Study 1. High elevation alpine lake setting. A small lakeside cabin at near 3,000 meters elevation in the Rockies. Winters are long, with snow cover most of the year. Summer days are short at subarctic latitudes. The sun is intense when out, due to thin air with fewer atmospheric losses, but often low on the horizon or blocked by mountains. Springs and creeks fed by snowmelt provide a reliable water flow year-round. Temperatures can drop well below freezing at night, even in summer. Power plan. Solar PV. Due to the short, clear summer days and thinner atmosphere which allows more direct sunlight, a south-tilted solar array is still useful. We might install 5 panels of 300 watts, 1.5 kilowatts, yielding roughly 6 to 7 kWh on a good midsummer day, but perhaps only 1 to 2 kWh in midwinter. A tilt over 45 degrees helps snow slide off. Panels should be kept clean of snow. Even a few millimeters of frost or snow drastically cut output. Wind. High ridges can be very windy. A small 400-watt wind turbine on a 6 to 9 meter mast could generate a few kWh per day in windy conditions, especially in winter when PV is weakest. Its output is highly variable, so it mainly keeps batteries topped in storms. Hydro. Tap the snowmelt-fed creek with a micro-hydro turbine, e.g. a 12V 500-watt Pelton wheel. Even 100 to 200 watts continuous can add 2 to 5 kWh per day. A buried intake pipe keeps water flowing in winter. Pipes should be drained or insulated to avoid freeze. Flow and head will vary seasonally, higher in spring, lower in late summer. Battery bank. Cold reduces battery capacity. Lead acid loses 50% capacity at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So use a large, cold-rated bank. For a family using 5 to 10 kWh per day, plan for 30 kWh usable storage, e.g. 48V 600AH LiFePO4, so that 15 kWh per day usage requires only 50% depth of discharge. The battery box can be insulated or heated, e.g. by waste heat to keep it above 0 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, capacity and charging ability drop sharply. Backup generator. A propane or diesel generator, near 3 to 5 kW, provides emergency power when renewable sources dip. Multi-day storm or winter. Store enough fuel on site for at least a week of intermittent use. A manual charging device, 12-volt battery charger, can also trickle charge the battery from the generator's 12-volt output if needed. In sum, the power system might be 1.5 kW PV, plus 0.4 kW wind, plus 0.5 kW microhydro, feeding into a 48V 30 kWh battery bank with a 3 kW generator backup. This setup can produce 15 to 20 kWh on a good summer day, enough for critical loads, lights, pump, small fridge, and perhaps only 2 to 5 kWh per day in deep winter. Water treatment stack source. Water is gravity-fed from the pristine alpine lake/stream into a heated holding tank inside the cabin to prevent freezing. A small 12-volt pump, 200 to 400 watts, lifts lake water through filters into a 50 to 100 centimeter deep cistern, 200 to 400 liters of treated water. In winter, the intake must be below the ice line. A UV sterilizer at the end, powered by the 12V system to inactivate viruses and any remaining pathogens. With clean pre-filters, a 12V UV lamp, XX watt, can safely treat daily use on the order of 100-200 liters per day, meeting WHO criteria. Energy draw is minimal, e.g. 5 to 10 watts continuous while pumping. Optionally, a small bleach or iodine dispenser can add extra safety in winter if UV is offline. Propellant bleed can damage pipes if left too long, so use sparingly. Storage. A 200 to 400 liter stainless or food-grade poly tank inside the insulated cabin stores treated water at pressure, a 2 bars. Pipe minimal distance to taps to avoid freezing. Plumbing should use indoor-grade piping or be deeply buried, insulated. Gray water strategy. Disposal. Kitchen sink and shower wastewater, no toilet waste included, can be reused seasonally. In summer, route gray water to an outdoor drain field or vegetated swelling bed downhill from the house. The alpine forest soil is rocky but could absorb limited gray water. A mulch basin, shallow pit filled with mulch and gravel, planted with shrubs can filter and evaporate it. In winter, when soil is frozen, switch valves to route gray water into an indoor tank, e.g. a 100-liter drum, for later spring dispersal. This prevents pipe freeze. Reuse. Gray water contains food residues and detergents, so only use gentle soaps and biodegradable cleaners. We strongly recommend 100% biodegradable gray water safe soaps and detergents. No bleach, no phosphate, no ammonia, so that effluent can water non-edible plants without harm. If winter reservoir use is essential, that gray water could flush the toilet, with bleach pellet to kill bacteria. In dry seasons, it could irrigate a small greenhouse or trees, with caution. Capacity. Plan for 100 liters a day gray water. Family usage 2 people shedding 150 liters a day, some reused for toilet or irrigation. A 1,000-liter seepage pit or soak bed, footprint 2 times 5 meters, is plenty. Forest soils drain well. Baffle the pit with gravel and geotextile. Daily routine. Morning. All family members wake at sunrise. Immediately, they draw 5 liters from the hot water tank, gravity solar water heater or propane heater, for showers and kettle. The 12V pump runs for 30 minutes to top off the drinking water cistern, timed before battery depth falls. The solar PV is low, but wind or hydro may charge the battery from overnight recharge if cloudy. Afternoon. Maximize tasks that need electricity. At midday, sunlight peaks, so run electric cooking appliances if used and do laundry. The solar panels and microhydro charge the battery heavily. The UV filter runs whenever water is needed. With better midday power, gadgets like laptops or lights for reading can be used without running down batteries. Load. Drops as the sun sets. Lights LED come on only in critical rooms, powered by the battery. They cook dinner preferably on propane stove or wood stove with electric ignition. The pump may cycle a bit more to refill water used for cooking. Family showers, taking heat from wood stove or solar thermal. Gray water from washing and bathing is diverted to the auxiliary tank indoors if freezing is coming, or to the mulch bed. By 10 p.m., all major loads are off. The battery is usually 80 to 90% full. Night. Nighttime is mostly lights and charging, nothing major. The generator stays off unless the battery was critically low. The solar PV may still trickle charge briefly after dusk at higher altitudes. Expected failures and contingencies. Solar shortfall. Heavy storms or winter clouds can drop PV output to near zero. Contingency. Rely on microhydro and wind if running, plus the large battery reserve. Keep the generator fueled as a last resort. Cold-related battery loss. Below about 0 degrees Celsius, battery output plummets. Contingency. Insulate heat battery. If batteries freeze below 20 degrees C, cell damage or electrolyte freezing can occur. So always bring the charge controller offline if it's too cold, or heat the battery bank, even small heat strips. Pump ice blockage. The intake or pipes may ice up. Contingency. Rapidly shut off pump, switch intake to a heated sump, or manually melt ice. Keep a spare manual hand pump or buckets as absolute backup to fetch water. Water contamination. If filters clog or UV lamp fails, bacteria from birds could infect water. Contingency. Boil water or add 1 to 2 ppm chlorine bleach as emergency disinfectant. Carry spare filter cartridges and UV bulbs. Regularly test water when possible. Frozen gray water lines. If freeze-thaw cycles destroy pipes or soak pit, backups include shutting the gray water system, direct it all to holding tank. Generator failure. Always have spare generator parts or a second small beehive generator, 12V alternator style, for charging in a pinch. Case Study 2. Forested northern lake setting. A wooded lake in a boreal climate, e.g., northern Minnesota. The canopy of pines and spruces shades rooftops. Summer brings nearly daily rain and mosquitoes. Winters are cold but shorter than Alpine. Plenty of water is available, rain barrels fill often, but intense bugs and forest debris are major nuisances. Power plans solar PV. Light filtering through trees means low insolation, perhaps 2 to 3 peak sun hours in summer. We install 10 panels of 300W, 3 kilowatts, on a clearing or roof, with periodic trimming of branches. In summer, this can yield approximately 10 to 12 kilowatt hours per day. In winter, maybe 3 to 4 kilowatts. Panels should be protected with mesh or coatings to slow moss leaf buildup, but manual cleaning after storms is necessary. Forest wind is buffered, but open lake areas can give 4 to 5 meters per second winds regularly. A 1 kilowatt tower-mounted turbine, 10 meters high, can produce a few kilowatt hours on windy days, especially fall-winter storms when storms blow through. This supplements solar and charges batteries unused by the solar at odd times. Hydro. If the lake has an outflowing creek, a small 0.5 to 1 kilowatt hydro turbine captures continuous power, 12 to 24 kilowatt hours per day, if flow is steady. With rain, the stream flow is generous. Even a half-meter head can drive a turbine. Since water is plentiful, clogging of the intake by leaves is the main worry. Install a coarse debris screen. Battery bank. With 4 people living actively, daily use might reach 15 to 20 kilowatt hours. Lights, pump, fridge, kitchen. We pick a 48V 400 AHA, 19 kilowatt hours Life EPO4 bank, targeting 9 kilowatt hours usable, 50% DOD. Fast-acting surge loads, e.g. washing machine, should have an inverter that can double 5 to 10 kilowatts. A larger bank or an extra small bank ensures rainy weeks don't kill power. A small diesel or propane genset, around 5 kilowatts, for dryers or furnace. This can also heat a water tank via a heat exchanger, using any surplus to keep batteries warm. Store fuel for a month, since storms can be frequent. Water treatment stack sources. 2 sources are used interchangeably: a roof catchment, rain, and the lake. A sloped metal roof, with mesh guards on gutters, fills 5 times 200-liter barrels during spring-summer rains. We also pipe lake stream water to a settling tank, via distance, 50 meters uphill pump. Filtration. Because forest lakes can harbor algae, bacteria, and organic acids, we use a multi-barrier system. Typical stack. Sediment pre-filter, 50 micrometers, traps pine needles and grit. Activated carbon filter, removes organics and improves taste. This is helpful for tannins from decaying litter in forest water. Microfilter, 0.2 micrometers UF, for bacteria protozoa. UV sterilizer, in a well-lit location, killing viruses and any remaining germs. Rainwater may be slightly acidic, so we test pH. If needed, lime dosing raises pH. Both sources go through the same filters before entering a main 1000 L tank. A float valve prevents backflow. Storage and pumps. A single 1000 L tank supplies a 12V pump. Frequent pumps, 2 to 3 times per day, maintain pressure. We also attach a small solar element to keep tank water from freezing in winter and to kill Legionella. Tank covers are mosquito-proof, screened vents and sealed lids to prevent breeding. Gray water strategy recycling. In this wet climate, we aim to reuse as much gray water as practical. Shower, laundry, and kitchen gray water, minus any bleach, is piped to a constructed muskmelon bed just outside. The bed is a shallow trench on a mauled slope, filled with mulch and hardy plants like sedges or willow cuttings, which take up water. Typical flow, 100 to 150 liters per day, soaks happily in rainy seasons. Loosely contained, a geotextile wrapped gravel bed, 4 by 4 meters, acts as a biofilter. Water percolates slowly. Roots and microbes break down soap. Once per year it dries out, oxygenates. Safe soaps. We use only gray water safe soaps and shampoos, no bleach or ammonia, no harsh dyes. For example, laundry uses biodegradable powder, showers use gentle liquid soap. This ensures that the plants and soil aren't harmed by detergents. Overflow: if inflow exceeds the bed capacity, major rains, excess is diverted to a small holding pond, fenced from wildlife. The pond is lined with peat to avoid groundwater contamination and drained monthly with a leach field. Daily routine: morning, light use of lighting, lanterns. Children fetch 10 to 20 liters of stored water from tanks, with the pump on auto shutoff at 90 bar. The solar panels and hydro crank up. We run the 12V pump to top off hot water, heated by propane, for showers and morning tea. Midday, house is occupied full tilt. Kitchen runs on PV, the electric refrigerator, any cooking stove, and a laptop, on hours. Do laundry: afternoon. The washing machine, 12V inverter, and dryer, propane or wood, use stored solar. We charge devices and do projects then, when solar wind are strongest. Afternoon, evening. After 4 p.m., PV wanes. We start wood stove for heat. Rotate usage: lights are limited, fridge on economy mode, dinner prep on propane or wood stove. Gray water from kitchen and bath goes to the filter bed. Late evening shows may be run on generator. If battery is low, it quietly recharges bank and warms water. Night. Lights are only on for short reading or tasks. Most appliances are off. The battery, having been charged by sun, wind, hydro during day, supplies minimal loads overnight. Expected failures and contingencies: overcast weeks. In constant rain, solar can drop to 1 kilowatt-hour day. Solution: rely on microhydro, ponded water ensures flow, and large batteries. Turn off non-critical loads, example heating water with generator only when needed. Always keep the propane generator ready. Heavy wildlife debris in water: algal blooms or beaver work can foul the intake. A quick connect bypass allows pulling water from an alternative intake or the rain tanks. Spare filters must be on hand. Boil water as emergency. Pump bat bank aging: constant cycling damages batteries and pump seals. Solution: keep a spare 12V pump motor in the cabin. Replace battery cells every 8 to 10 years. Mosquitoes: open water invites breeding. Solution: tank vents and pump housings are tightly screened or use drawer-type larvicide tablets. A head net and indoor screens are used in summer. Drain any standing water after rains. Filter maintenance: the carbon and UF filters will clog faster with organics. Solution: replace filters twice a year and backflush the UF weekly. Have a couple of gallon jugs of emergency water stored, boiled or chlorinated for treat-up periods. Case Study 3. Arid reservoir setting: a remote stone shelter by a desert reservoir, like an oasis town. The sun is intense nearly year-round, 6 to 7 sun hours day. Rain is almost nil, maybe a thunderstorm once a year. Sand and dust storms occur, coating everything. Nights can be cool, but days approach 40 to 45 degrees Celsius in summer. Water comes from the reservoir, fresh but warm and silty after windstorms. Power Plan Solar PV: this site's best resource is solar. We mount 20 high-efficiency 400W panels, 8 kilowatts on the roof, and nearby ground racks, optimized for winter-summer sun angle. At 6 sun hours, 8 kilowatts yields approximately 48 kilowatts day, way above the 10 to 20 kilowatts per day needed. Lights, fridge, fans, pump. We will use surplus to charge an electric vehicle or run heavy loads. Panels must be cleaned of dust weekly to prevent 20 to 30% loss. Consider an automated wiper or periodic spray system. Wind: desert winds are inconsistent, mostly midday thunderstorms, plus chill nights. A 300W high durability turbine can add a few kilowatts on windy days. It helps chip away battery use in the evenings. However, wind can also kick up dust into gear. Ensure turbine electronics are sealed. Battery bank: to ride out sandstorms or a dust-covered week, we install 48-volt 800 amp power, exactly 38 kilowatts LifePo PO. This covers 3 days of consumption. LifePo PO is chosen for safety, thermal stability. However, high daily charge discharge and heat will age them faster. We include a battery vent AC or phase change cooling box, since daytime panel currents plus ambient heat could push battery above 50 degrees Celsius. Sustained 45 degrees Celsius accelerates permanent capacity loss. Keeping the battery cooler below 40 degrees Celsius greatly extends life. Backup generator. Though sun is abundant, have a 10 kilowatt diesel generator for worst case, e.g. shifting RV coolant pump, or if evacuation is needed. Diesel stores well and can also power an evaporative cooler or AC unit in emergencies. Water treatment stack source and intake. The reservoir's open intake is screened against fish and debris. Water is pumped 24/7 at a low rate, e.g. 10 to 20 liters per minute into a ground cistern. A coarse 100 micrometer sediment filter traps grit. A sand-dirt deposit basin, a large settling tank, removes heavy sand particles by slowing flow. Filtration. Post-settling, water flows through dual media filter sand-activated carbon, 10 micrometers, removes fine sediment and organics. Carbon absorbs any petrochemicals or organics. Ultrafiltration membrane, 0.05 micrometers, for bacteria and microplastics. Reservoirs often have algae and sometimes runoff contaminants. UV sterilizer, 320W high power, to handle 5 meters per day at 1 milliliter per second, killing pathogens. Alternatively, chlorination can be used if UV fails. The climate lots of sun can degrade chlorine fast, so UV is preferred for potable supply. All treated water goes into a 5,000-liter pressurized cistern, insulated to limit algal growth. We recirculate warm water to an attached solar water heater. A small vent on the cistern is screened for insects. Dust also blocked by 5mm mesh. Distribution. A high-quality pump, 1 to 2 kilowatts 48 volts, draws from the cistern for house use. A 5-meter drop to the kitchen and shower provides water pressure. Minimal plumbing avoids vapor lock. Bath and kitchen faucets can be fitted with ultrafine Wicket pre-filters, 50 micrometers as a final safety net. Gray water strategy reuse. In the desert, water is precious. Gray water, shower, sink, laundry, but no toilet water, is fully reused on non-edible landscaping. We direct it into the courtyard bed, which is planted with native xeric shrubs, mesquite, aloe, agave, that tolerate soaps. Using gray water here almost exclusively, we cut potable water use by 40%. Distribution. Pipes lead gray water into a graded trench, 20 by 1 meter, filled with gravel mulch along a swale. It disperses slowly into soil. We double line this to prevent seepage into groundwater, channeling it under the tree root zone. Gray water pH is approximately 7.5 to 8 from soap, so no soil harm. Safe soaps. All household cleaning agents must be extremely mild. We insist on gray water safe products, no bleach, minimal surfactants. For instance, we use natural soap with essential oils. Any harsh chemical would kill our desert plants. Toilets. We install a composting toilet to eliminate black water. Throwaway waste is collected by a service. Any accidental toilet flush water is minimal. Otherwise, we rely on captured gray water. Daily routine dawn. The solar array lights up quickly. Morning chores, washing dishes, watering the courtyard with last night's gray water, preparing a cold breakfast, are timed while panels power the water heater and stove igniter. The reservoir pump is on auto, topping off the cistern due to overnight demand. Morning. By 9 a.m., the battery is fully charged. We do high electric tasks now: laundry, charging laptops, running fans, ventilation. Windows are kept barred against heat, but the morning breeze allows the wind turbine to contribute a small charge. Midday. We avoid heat. Activities slow down. The family rests inside. The thick walls help cool days. Panels are cleaned quickly of dust by midday, if conditions allow a brief rinse or brush, to keep output high. Dishwashing or plant watering is then done on solar. Evening. As the sun sets, move chores outside, bird watching with motion lights, or using stored cold water for showers. The generator is run if needed for AC or to handle cooking loads after dark. Gray water is diverted to the courtyard bed. At night, evaporation is slow, but the gravel bed still gathers it. Night. Only essential lighting is used: LED fixtures, solar lanterns. The battery supplies these easily. Once family sleeps around 10 p.m., the system idles. The battery is largely full from a hot day's sun. Expected failures and contingencies. Dust on panels. A half-inch of dust can cut output up to 30%. Solution: install automated wipers or schedule manual cleaning after storms. Keep a pressure washer handy. A secondary array tilt shaking snow also sheds dust. Battery overheat. The battery box can reach greater than 60 degrees Celsius in midday if not ventilated. Solution: use phase change cooling packs or a small AC vent. Always place batteries in shade. Never charge or discharge above 45 degrees Celsius or you lose capacity. If overheating occurs, shut off charging and rely on backup generator/propane. Pump breakdown. Fine sand can wear pump seals. Solution: install a pre-sand trap settling basin that is cleaned monthly. Keep a manual hand pump to draw from cistern if the electric pump fails. Sterilizer failure. UV bulbs burn out. Solution: keep extra bulbs on hand. If UV is offline, add household bleach, sodium hypochlorite at 1 milliliter per liter as a stopgap disinfectant. Water clarity must be high for UV to be effective. Extreme heat illness. In case of air conditioning failure, have shade cloths and misting fans. The generator can power an evaporative cooler as emergency, though these use lots of water. Comparative lessons and adaptable template lessons. Each climate demands a different mix of resources. In the Alpine case, reliability trumped abundance. We leaned heavily on wind and microhydro to offset short winter days and insulated systems for freezing. In the rainy forest, water was plentiful, but sun was not, so we used every drop twice and added wind hydro backup. In the desert, solar reigned supreme, but dust and heat created their own maintenance chores. Across all three, however, common principles emerged: balanced supply and demand, oversized generation to cover worse days. For example, aim to recharge the battery bank in one sunny day. Store for lean times. Batteries and water tanks must hold 2-3+ days of use, since weather is unpredictable. Solar-based villages often keep 3 days of autonomy even before setting up a generator. Multi-stage water treatment. Always include sediment pre-filters, fine filters/UF, and disinfection for lake/stream water. No single step is enough. Reuse gray water. In wet climates, it's a nuisance. In dry climates, it's a lifeline. But in any case, it must be free of toxic chemicals. Designing the plant beds or infiltration fields in advance is key. Expect and mitigate failures. Each environment had obvious weak points: frozen pipes, mosquitoes, dust, salt spray, animals. Anticipate the local issue and build in redundancy, e.g., backup filter cartridges, sealed tanks, screens, solar panels on spring hinges to shake snow, dust. Adaptable design template. Readers planning their own remote shoreline system can follow a stepwise framework. Assess climate and resources. Note sun hours, wind patterns, water availability, flora-fauna issues. Estimate loads. Calculate daily kilowatt hours and water use per person, e.g., 150 to 250 liters per person, including basic household needs. Include any gardening or livestock. Choose generation mix. Allocate solar, PV capacity using local sun data, plus consider wind or hydro if available. Ensure PV can recharge batteries from empty in one average sunny day. Size storage. Plan batteries for at least 2 to 3 days of autonomy, e.g., size equals load times days depth of discharge. And water tanks similarly, often 3 to 7 days of water supply. Use insulation or heating if cold is an issue, or cooling ventilation if extreme heat. Design water purification. Use staged filtration. For lakes, streams, include sediment, 50 to 100 micrometers, carbon filters, microfiltration UF, 0.1 to 0.2 micrometers, and UV or chemical disinfectant. Always cover tanks to block insects and debris. Plan gray water reuse. Decide if you'll irrigate plants or use soak pits. Build appropriate beds or sand pads before living there. Only use biodegradable, gray water safe soaps. Routine and redundancy. Establish daily routines that maximize generation, e.g., do laundry when solar is up. Identify single points of failure, e.g. only one pump, and add backups, extra pump, spare panels, manual generation. Train occupants to monitor system health, e.g. battery voltage, water clarity. Fail-safe protocols. Have emergency procedures, how to boil, treat water filters fail, operate a backup generator if batteries die, move animals away if threatening the system. Maintain an emergency cache of water bottles, fuel, and parts. By working systematically through these steps, as illustrated by our 3 lake scenarios, any off-grid lakefront project can be designed to be robust, climate-appropriate, and long-lasting. All links to sources are available in the text version of this article. You can find the full article at boondocking.tix. Thanks for listening. For more research-driven boondocking guides, off-grid camping tips, RV travel advice, and van life strategies, visit boondocking.tips. That's boondocking.tips for the full written research and new camping updates.